Okay, this is for the gentleman that had asked some questions of me, and a couple questions, and I'm going to answer them hopefully as short as I can. As far as aliens and the government, for one thing, I think aliens, it's all fantasy, it's all Hollywood and stuff. They're probably, what happened in Roswell and things like that of that nature probably was some kind of science governmental lab work there in Nevada, or it's always in a desert. You ever notice that? All these occurrences happen in deserts. Anyway, like in New Mexico or in Nevada, Death Valley, east in California or west of in Nevada. Anyway, these are probably science projects that were going on, and they were experimenting, and and then of course the government had to cover it up because they probably were doing some serious shit back in the 40s and 50s when Roswell and all that crap came along, and it probably was dealing with, this is, before the space race, before, flying a monkey into orbit or a human into orbit or eventually onto the moon. It was probably just a science project, but I'm going to take it one step further. The chances of aliens being out there in outer space, a monkey is 98.6% of our DNA. Right? That's the closest to come to us as far as DNA is concerned. And then, of course, you go all the way back to one-cell creatures, and you go back to even amoebas. You go back to viruses and bacteria. Like when you die, your body decomposes. So these bacteria and viruses lay dormant in your body until you actually die, and then it actually eats you from in to out, from within and out. So I mean, but anyway, we are very, very close to what a monkey is, okay? And what do we have? We have basic five senses and our thinking and our emotions, which the emotions, you always say, oh, it's in my heart. Well, not really. It's really in your mind, and your mind is regulating your heart, which gives you that. Either it makes your heart beat faster, it gives you your anxieties, it gives you your anxiousness, gives you your stress levels and stuff like that. And so it's the mind that's controlling the heart, and that's what produces this, oh, I love you, and love is a basic emotion, right? Or I hate you, or I have anger, and all this. And your mind is controlling your heartbeat, and that's what makes you either beats faster or it doesn't. So it's all in the mind. So you have your mind, and then you have your five sensory perceptions. Now, they have this thing, very powerful satellite dishes and all this crap sending signals out there, and they had a space capsule go out there into outer space with photo. I think it was a Beatles record or something like that. I don't know. Don't hold me to that. But it was some kind of musician's record and all kinds of human toys and human papers and all this bullshit. And they send it out there thinking some alien out there in the middle of nowhere is going to find this thing and understand it or look at it. Why is it that aliens always have eyes, noses, mouths, ears? They're on 2 feet. They have hands. They have some kind of limbs. Why is their head always shaped like ours? You understand? I mean, it's bullshit. It's once again our subjectivity being projected into all this shit. It's always I this, I that, I this, I that, I this, I that. So, here's this alien out in the middle of nowhere. Let's say there's an alien out. I don't believe in aliens, but let's say there are an alien out there. Now, the sensory perceptions are just us. I mean, the chances of us having all these sensory perceptions through a very long line of hereditary, traced all the way back to even atoms, basic particles, subparticles, nanotechnology, basic structures. I mean, we're all basically atoms, right? So the chances of it from the atom through all the hundreds of thousands of millions and billions of years to what we are now And we're just humans. We're just these beings, We're nothing really that special, actually. We're just these beings, We're no like, some superstars or anything. We're just beings, that do human being things. And so what's the chances of something out there in the middle of nowhere actually looking like us, understanding us, having sensory perceptions? The chances of even Einstein couldn't figure out those variables. Even Einstein, all your scientific geniuses out there cannot figure. I can promise you, cannot figure out all the combinations and variables as to how the human finally got the way he or she is, with the 5 sensory perceptions and the mind. You can only look back at history and look at how, like, we're 98.6% our DNA structure is that's how close it is to a monkey, and then on back. All right? What's the chances of an alien having that kind of DNA structure? It's crazy. It's insane to think that. No, we are alone in this fucking universe, unfortunately. Well, I don't know if it's unfortunate. It's just the way it is. And we're sending signals out there and shit, thinking that they could sense it through one of their hearing, they could hear it, or they could see it. There could be a fucking alien ship or a satellite dish pass right by them, and they won't even fucking see it because they don't have our eyes like we do. The chances of us having the eyes. Some people are born blind. Some people are born with not able to hear. Some people are born with a lot of defects, a lot of chromosome defects, a lot of DNA structures that screw up a human being. They're born with they can't walk, like cerebral palsy, or they're mentally retarded, or they're mentally ill for that matter. I mean, you're born with certain things that twist your brain inside out, and as well as deforming you. I mean, the chances are of actually having just a regular human being like you and I. Well, I don't know if I'm that regular, but but anyway, the thing is the chances of the human being, you understand? Let alone an alien having life out there is just so. It's really crazy. It's impossible. It's impossible. No, we're alone in this. We're alone in this fucking space. That's what I said in the other video in God 1, in God Part 1 and 2 and 3. Yeah, well, it's just space out there. They're going to send capsules and space stations and all that shit. They're going to try to find something out there. No, all you're going to find is one thing and one thing only. Space. You're just going to go out there and it'd be a never-ending story, so to speak. You're never going to hit something like a wall and it stops. No. Aliens are not out there, and fucking all there is out there is fucking space and fucking atoms that make up structures like planets and rocks and debris and asteroids and comets and all that other shit. That's all that's out there. And this space station someday, maybe, if we last this long as humans, as a species, let's say 1 million years from now we're around. Maybe they'll have a space station, maybe, I don't know, 187 miles away from the Earth. I mean, it won't be very far away, a fucking asteroid out of nowhere comes, a comet comes, it'll fucking hit that space station, smash it all to pieces. Come on, be for real. We're safe in our little stratosphere and our atmosphere, but I don't want to make it too long, but as far as Roswell and aliens are concerned, yeah, that's just probably they were working on some science project. They did LSD, experimental drugs in the late 50s and into the 60s. That's how all the hippies got all the fucking LSD and all that shit, because the CIA permitted that. They were doing programs, mind control, trying to figure out people's minds and how their brains work and all this other bullshit. Well, maybe that's what they were doing then. Maybe in a science lab they were working on some kind of, I don't know, maybe they're working on a human or something, and I don't know, and they were flying this thing up in the air. Who knows what the hell it was? Or maybe it was just bullshit. How do we know about Roswell? Well, through news media and through stories, and like they have this one website called Above Top Secret and all this bullshit. They're really into aliens. You want to know about aliens? Go to Above Top Secret. They're supposed to be, above the CIA. They're supposed to have all the inner knowledge. And some of the things on that website's okay, but they're really into aliens. A lot of those people are into aliens. Oh, aliens built the pyramids. No, the only thing that built the pyramids was a lot of slave power, and wood, and sand, and rope. And they had the Nile, they had the limestone, and through all the slaves, the Egyptians were very good architects. They were really into into a lot of planning and stuff like that, to a lot of those kinds of things. And they're very scientific minded, a lot of them, even though they believed in all their stupid ass gods, but still they were somewhat pretty much scientific minded. And they got all these slaves. They put these. They cut all the limestone north of the where they were going to put the pyramids at. They cut it all up, put it on these ships, put the ships over. Eventually, they had large wooden spindle things, and they would wheel these big blocks of tons, 10 tons of limestone, piece by piece, to the area where they're going to build their pyramid. And then when they got to the pyramid, they have this pulley system with wood and rope and a lot of fucking slaves. 10,000, 20, 30,000 slaves. And not only that, one of these pyramids took like a fucking 100 years, maybe more, to build. So you had like 5 generations of people building this fucking thing, just for one of them, right? For like Ramesses, the big king, to build one of his fucking pyramids took over 100 years to build. So using the pulley and through all the slaves, it's like horsepower, it's like, you have 5 horses, you have you have 260 horsepower, you have 500 horsepower in a Porsche or whatever the hell it is. Anyway, you have all these like 10,000 slaves pulling through, and I'm sure they made mistakes and they had to redo it and everything like that. But over a very long period of time, they were able to get the main base in place. And then, of course, they had their planning. They did, the Egyptians, and they planned it out. So they had tunnels and walkways in there, and they were able to carve it out as they went along. And anyway, so they had the base of limestone, and then they went to the next thing, and they said, well, yeah, but how could they go all the way to the fucking top? How tall those fucking pyramids? Well, it's pretty easy. It's not like each ledge of the pyramid. It's not like a step. Like you go up a step at home or something. You go up a step and it's 12 inches wide or something. No, these fucking ledges are fucking wide. I don't know how many feet they are, yards. They're probably like, I'm just going to throw it out, 50 yards or more of fucking space there on each ledge. And so each time they went up to the next ledge, they brought the pulley up to the next ledge, and then they worked up, and then put the pulley, and through all this slave power, through all this power, all this manpower, they were able to slowly build up the pyramid to the way it was. Aliens didn't build the fucking thing. Human slaves build the fucking pyramids over a long period of time. So, no, there are no aliens out there. Just us alone. That's why you better make the best you can out of this world, because if not, it's, that's all we have. We only have this little Earth and a little space station up there and a few planets that we might be able to get to, and that's about it. We're not going to go into other universes and all that shit. I really, even 2,000 years from now, I don't think a human in a little space station is going to make it to another universe. Another solar system, I should say. Not another universe. Another solar system. The chances of that, without one of those fucking huge fucking rocks that are probably the size of half the Earth, if not larger than the size of the Earth, smashes into the space station, that's it. It's over. Done with. And they only built one. It's not like they built about, they built 200 space stations. They only have one. You know how long it took to build one space station? Holy shit. So come on, it's just, it's just us. It's just us here alone. Enjoy what you can. And I'm going to do the next part, the other question, in a different video. So hopefully that answered your question, and you can comment or ask for other questions. That's fine with me. Anyway, have a good day.